Hello, BookTube. It's Tuesday, and that means Tag Tuesday, when all of us little booktubers stop what we're doing and do a tag. And I was tagged in an original tag by one of my favorite booktubers, Shawn D. Standfast. he is a voice of authority on BookTube. He is a passionate devotee of films and books, science fiction and mainstream literature, and one of the main joys, of course, of a channel like that is when we disagree as much as when we agree. So it's always a joy. He's a frequent uploader, which is really nice. And he created a tag that I just love. It emphasizes the good parts of what I must call the BookTube community, and it often helps to have those good parts emphasized, so I'm very happy to take part in that. It's the 12 BookTubers of Christmas Tag. And I urge you, I'll leave a link to his video, but I urge you to go and subscribe to the people that he mentions in his own video. He mentions some BookTube royalty, people that are just fantastic to do, to watch, and to hope that they make more videos in some cases. But it's a takeoff of the old Christmas song, and it starts with 12 drummers drumming. And for this, I didn't come up with any thematic resonance between the category name and the person. I just stuck in booktubers that I love for every category. And one of those was Heather Gregg, who I mentioned in an earlier video. And she finally decided to join the fun on BookTube. And it's been wonderful. Her videos are every bit as wide-ranging and spirited and sort of twinkle in the eye playful as her comments were on videos for a long time before she decided to take the plunge and make her own channel. So I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link to her channel and everybody else's channel down below here. For 11 Pipers Piping, I will of course mention Olive, Edibook Olive, who hardly needs any mention from me. Her channel is big and wonderful, and always has been. Even when her subscriber count was a third of what it is now, didn't matter. It's pure bookish enthusiasm, pure approachable bookish joy in every video. Just a delight, absolute delight. An auto watch when it crops up in my BookTube feed. I subscribe to a very large number of booktubers, and I actually managed to watch all of that footage. I don't leave as many comments as I would like to do. I really should work on leaving more comments, but even so, even in the midst of that, even though I eventually get to everything, some booktubers really jump to the head of that list, no matter when they've uploaded, and Olive is the foremost of those. Then 10 Lords Leaping would be my sister from another mister, Sarah at the Bookish Knitter. I've praised her channel many times on my own channel. She reads a lot of romance, including, and romance, of course, is a despised and condescended to genre of fiction, just as it is, even though it outsells all the others by 2 to 1. But even more than that, she's a devoted fan of category romances. What those of you who don't read romances might think of them as your mother's romances, the Harlequin romances that are very formulaic. They have very category names and directions and whatnot. A lot of good work is done there by a lot of wonderful, wonderful ladies, and Sarah reads them religiously and critically and energetically. A number of people at my behest have gone over to her channel and realized I recommended her channel because she does BookTube just the way that I love it, which is that the person is sitting down and having a conversation with you. So there's no whiz-bang special effects. There's no or almost no stupid calls to action. It's really just a person having a talk. And in addition to that, she also approaches her favorite books in the way that I approach my favorite books, which is enthusiastically, but not just a doormat. And a number of you have gone over to her channel at my recommendation because I was recommending that friendly, face-to-face, just chatting with a friend approach, have stayed because you've seen that she's not just automatically approving every romance that crosses her plate. It's easy for a book to slip up. Even formulaic romances, there are some that do a fantastic job. There are some that do a terrible job. So it's a delight. It's a delight to watch. another auto watch. Then for Nine Ladies Dancing, I naturally include another auto watch, which is Britta Bohler, who's widely regarded on Reddit as being my lawfully wedded wife. And if you saw it on Reddit, it must be true. And Britta's the same way. A video comes up and I immediately watch. I don't do a good enough job with a lot of these people in leaving comments. And I know that helps. Comments, good comments on your videos help a lot, as we'll see later on in this tag. In Britta's case, I defend myself because although I don't leave comments often on her videos, she gets more than enough of me on Voxer, so maybe she doesn't want any more. But in terms of freewheeling and razor-sharp assessment of the books that she's reading, can't do better. Can't do better. Then 8 Maids of Milking, I will choose David Wiley. And again, I'll leave links to all these channels down below. David Wiley is not only the nicest guy on BookTube, and liked by all the separate little camps of BookTube. They might not talk to each other, but they all talk to him. Not only that, but he's also, for me, a perfect demonstration of why none of us should pay much attention to subscriber count. Why none of us really should do that. It's kind of a stupid number. It's first of all, it's easy for it to be goosed by the algorithm, which no one understands and which has nothing to do with the content that you make half the time. But also, it's totally artificial in terms of what kind of video experience you're going to get, what kind of person you're going to so-called meet in the videos. Who doesn't watch David Wiley's channel? Who doesn't like his channel? Nobody doesn't like it. Everybody knows David Wiley's channel and watches it, and yet his subscriber count doesn't reflect that. He doesn't have 50,000 subscribers. It's a perfect illustration to me that that number is, or that we ought to consider it, largely peripheral. Right? It certainly shouldn't change anything. An absolutely genuine, wonderful presence on BookTube. So I'm needless to say, all of these are recommendations for you to go and subscribe. Then, where are we here? We're at 7 Swans of Swimming. And for this, I will choose MJ at Reading This Life. Again, a remarkably sharp and welcoming channel. And in her case, the emphasis is on welcoming because in addition to everything else that she does on BookTube, she's also a real effective, pragmatic welcoming committee to all newcomers to BookTube. She seeks them out. She makes regular video content about how to help them to get in, to get on with the community, to become a part of the community, to learn what all the best parts of BookTube are all about. That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. A long time ago, we had a BookTuber who did that, and he left. He's still on YouTube, but he doesn't do BookTube videos anymore. And we haven't really had anyone to do that since. It's wonderful that MJ has taken it on herself, especially since she's so good at it. Just that's one of the things that she does on her channel. Just a wonderful experience. Then we'll move on to 6 Geese A-Laying, Sue's BookNook, with Olive, one of the earliest people that I knew in air quotes, but knew, internet-wise on BookTube. One of the earliest people that I made any kind of a personal connection with. And it wasn't hard, because in her videos for years, her videos featured her dog Skippy, who was clearly getting on in years. And that is a realization. I was the same thing. I was in the same position. I had 2 dogs that were getting on in years. Skippy outlived both of them. But these things only have one ending, and when you're watching those videos, all I could think was, well, here is, I know this person. I know exactly what this person is going through. I feel it. I wish that I could somehow make it easier. And in my early videos on my channel, I just routinely said that the thing that would stop me from making videos would be the loss of my Basset Hound Lucy. I was certain that that would do it. She was one of those special dogs, just as Skippy certainly was for Sue. And I just assumed that the loss of Skippy, when it eventually did happen, would mean the loss of Sue's BookNook. And that didn't happen. I'm very happy about that. So I will leave a link. The channel is wonderful. It's just a rambling, ongoing conversation about the latest books to cross the bow. Why they crossed the bow, what they were like, where they go in a list of favorites and non-favorites, just delightful stuff. Where does that take us? Okay, then we have 5 gold rings, which for this I'll nominate Alex at A View from the Bar. Who, again, is a sporadic YouTube uploader. Once was more closely wedded to BookTube than he is now, but still an inveterate reader and writer, and also a freelance editor, writer, and proofreader if you have a job that you would like to give him. He's really, really good at it. And that could not have been demonstrated any more conclusively than the fact that he's the one who, in the last 80 years, or 180 years, or 280 years, finally managed to get a book out of me that may very well see broad-scale publication in 2023. He crowdfunded the book so that he could justify taking time off to do the work of collating and editing and formatting a whole bunch of reviews of mine. And the crowdfunder was a success. It worked. And those backers got the ebook that resulted. But the ebook that resulted, I don't see any reason not to publish it. I think in the new year I would probably want to add a lot of material to it, which is adding headaches to Alex, but maybe we'll do a second crowdfunder. But definitely going to include him. You could certainly do worse than to dedicate an hour to skipping around in his backlog because it's all zippy and amazingly good. Let's see here. Then for Calling Birds, here I will nominate Micah Cummins, a newer booktuber, has had success. His channel has been embraced. He recently got a job, I believe you people call it, and it has been decreasing the time that he has to play in the sandbox of BookTube. But, again, a fantastic backlog of videos. And, you know, mad props, as the kids say, to him and all you other people who continue to make BookTube videos. Maybe not every day, the way I would like it. Some of us are housebound or work from home or are retired, so we can make as many videos as we feel like. But, you know, here's a tip of the hat to all of you in Micah's position who have family and friends and a job and still manage to make BookTube videos at all. And his are terrific. Then for Three French Hens, I will nominate Novella. I recently did a BookTube Talks conversation with Novella. A lot of you seem to like. A wonderful channel about all the latest reading that she's doing. And one of the benefits of that is that a lot of that, because she's Fern, a lot of that reading is not the normal stuff that you will hear about in American BookTube channels or even UK BookTube channels. A lot of it is stuff that is barely known or not translated into this language and is fascinating. Her thoughts on it are fascinating. Every one of those things goes through the dough kneader of her critical appraisal. It's just delightful to watch. And she also does videos on writing that are really good. So you get twice for your money there on her channel. Then for Two Turtledoves, the number 2 automatically puts something in mind here. This might seem like cheating because I'm partially recommending myself, but not really. I want to recommend here CPL Radio. Cedarburg Public Library in Wisconsin has a radio station. Not many public libraries do. Cedarburg Public Library has one. And Jeff from Cedarburg Public Library reached out to me to do a daily show about books for that radio. And we also, the Cedarburg Public Library has a YouTube channel. So you will get 2 turtle doves burbling dad jokes about a different book every weekday, Monday through Friday, from now in perpetuity. It is a lot of fun. If you haven't gone over and experienced it, there's no real good way for me to describe it, but we have a lot of fun. And you never know what book you're going to get next. A lot of them are new releases, but we also do classics and kids books. It's tremendous fun. And then the last prompt here is A Partridge in a Pear Tree. This is the pinnacle of the 12 BookTubers of Christmas. And here, once again, I'm going to cheat just a bit because I'm going to broaden the definition of booktuber, which we usually think of as a content creator. And my nominee for Partridge in a Pear Tree are BookTube commentators. The people who don't have channels but still leave comments. The people who are active participants in what we do here. Those of us who do make videos would be lost without the people who show up regularly or even once in a blue moon to make comments. That is such a vital thing, so overlooked a lot of the time in the BookTube, shout-out ecosystem, is how vital that is. Believe me, your heart swells the first time you get a comment, not the first time you get a comment from another BookTuber. And some commentators never miss a video. It's absolutely delightful. The people who comment on my own videos are almost always, there are a few exceptions, but almost all of them are just an absolute delight. I even have my own Spaminator. But the comments on my videos, you're perfectly free to correct me. You're perfectly free to disagree with me. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. My comment section, and I know this is true of a lot of other booktubers, including a lot of the booktubers that I've mentioned in this tag. My comment section is a perfect daily refutation of the worst assumptions of what social media does to people. My comment section is people, usually, 99% of the time, people having fun, even if they're disagreeing. That is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. That goes a long way, as do all of these booktubers. They go a long way at the end of the year towards balancing my vision of the booktube experience. So that is the 12 booktubers of Christmas tag. I'm going to follow Shawn D Standfast, and that I am more or less officially tagging any of the people that I mentioned in this video. Can't wait to see. Let's keep the good holiday cheer going in a wonderful way. This is actually an inspired idea on Shawn's part. The perfect kind of holiday tag. So feel free to keep it going. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.